because I'll still support him. Hey guys, how are you? By the way, we are here in Chautauqua County. If you want to clap, now would be a good time. Just for the people who are online. But what I'm saying is, you can always say, I don't like that guy, Larry Sharpe. I don't like what he's saying on this. Oh, he's wrong on this. Okay. But I trust him. I know where he stands. I know where he stands. And I know why he thinks that. He believes X, Y, and Z because he always believes X, Y, and Z, and always has. In fact, I've watched this guy cross the state 3-4 times in a row, and his message never changes. And when it does sometimes change, he actually explains why. Because some of you who have watched me for a long time have realized some of my policies have changed. He's not saying, you remember, some of my policies do change. They do change because people show me something. And they say, hey, Larry, this idea is a wrong idea. Here's a better idea. And I go, well, you know what? That'll work. I'm in. I'll change my policies. It happens often. I'm not about being righteous. I'm about us helping. Some of you saw I know I keep saying this is such a good thing. I'm so happy I went on Joe Rogan. At the end of the Joe Rogan interview, Joe Rogan says to me, he goes, Larry, you got some great ideas. You better lock those ideas down. And I said, lock these ideas down? Why? He goes, someone will take them. They'll take your ideas. And I said, good. To take them. Fix my state. I'll go home. What? It'd be amazing. Please take them. But you know something else. If you go to my policy page, and you have, my policies have been on my page for 4 years now. Right there. You want to take them? Take them. I don't mind. Has anyone taken them? No. Of course not. They don't want to fix anything. That's what makes us special. For some of you here are saying to yourself, Larry, I like what you're saying. I do. But you know what? I can't vote for you. It's a wasted vote. Here all the time. I can't vote for you, Larry. You can't win. Here all the time. Let me cover both of those real fast, if I may. Wasted vote. If anyone in this room voted for a Republican or a Democrat, what'd you get? Thank you. Nothing. Yes, that was a wasted vote. If you voted for a Democrat, you got more years of Cuomo. Well done. Hope that was helpful. I mean, unless he didn't grab your butt, maybe you're mad because he didn't grab your butt. But he grabbed a bunch of people's butts. If you were trying to get your butt grabbed, you didn't have to vote for him. There are many people who would have done it if you just asked them. So it's not really an issue if that was your goal, right? Not really an issue. So you got more of Cuomo, and now we went from His Majesty King Andrew II to Her Majesty Queen Kathy I. Right? Same thing. That's what we went. That's what you got. If you were a Republican, what'd you get? Nothing. Because here's a little secret. That's a wasted vote. Ooh, some of you Republicans like hearing that. But this is New York State. This is a statewide election. In a local election, Republicans win across the state all the time. Most counties in this state are red. Most counties in this state are Republican. If someone's running locally, it could make lots of sense to vote Republican. The person could win. Makes sense. We're talking statewide election. This is a state where it's 2.5 to 1 Democrat to Republican. In my city, 6 to 1 Democrat to Republican in my city. Republicans cannot win an election statewide in this state. Anyone who tells you that is either lying to you or delusional. It is impossible. They cannot win. It will not happen. Republican hasn't won a statewide election in this state in 20 years. And the state is not getting redder. It's getting bluer. The people who are more red are packing up and leaving. You all know it. Look at your heads nodding. You see it? They're going to Florida, Arizona, North Carolina. That's where they're going. I know. Because where I'm calling them now, they're like, Larry, I love you, but I'm in Arizona now. Damn it. Yes, I'm seeing them all leave. So I know they're all going. So that's not going to happen. But you might go, Larry, I have to vote Republican for investment. Where is he now? Half you don't even know who he was. You don't remember his name. Remember mine, though, don't you? You don't remember his. He's gone. Democrats have run this state for 20 years. If they were going to fix it, they would have fixed it. Republicans have watched Democrats run this state for 20 years. If they were going to have a plan, they'd have one. There is no plan. The plan for this state is as follows. Hold on as long as we can, grift and steal your money as long as they possibly can until the state goes under. I'm not joking. Larry, that sounds horrible. Yes, please show me evidence that I'm wrong. There is none. We lost about 500,000 people since COVID, and our budget jumped up another 30 billion. How are you going to pay for that? You're going to pay. That's who's going to pay. It's not magic. How are you going to handle that? You're going to pay. And if they can't do it on taxes, they'll do it on fines and fees and licensing, and they'll use law enforcement as a profit center. You know, we just passed Proposition 2 here in New York State, right? You saw that one? The healthful, we want healthful environments. Remember that?
Yeah.
That passed. As soon as I read that hunk of garbage, I thought that's going to pass. Because that sounded amazing, didn't it? That, I mean, the words was awesome. They were awesome, right? Oh my God. We want a healthful environment, sure. But what does that mean? That means there will be, guaranteed, next year, mark my words, there will be a healthful police. They will probably have white shirts, because that's the cool shirt you wear, usually white. And they'll have badges. I'm not joking, they'll have badges. In New York City, the Department of Buildings has badges. Department of Buildings has badges. What are they, the building cops? Yes, they're the building cops. That's correct. There's going to be a healthful cop. And the healthful cops come around, and all they're going to do is fine you. They're going to raise money. This will be a massive money grab. We voted to have them come take our money in places just like this and go, yeah, I'm not sure if that's a healthful environment where that thing is. $100. Then they come to your house. Oh, you got a wood burning stove? Yeah, is that really helpful? $100. Massive money grab. Someone's got to pay for those nice white shirts. Shiny badges. Who's going to pay for that? You won't. You won't. What you just did by voting for Proposition 2 was say, I don't believe that I can judge whether I'm healthful or not. That's what you did. And we did. As a state, we did that. We said we need daddy government to decide if we're healthful or not. We did that. And the Republicans stopped that. Did you hear a huge outrage against that? They totally skipped that one, didn't they? Yeah, they did. Do you know why Republicans skipped that? Because they want the money too. Because they're all corporatists. And they all want the money, and it's a money grab. So if you voted for a Republican last time, what did you get? Nothing. What you got? That was a wasted vote. But if you voted for me last year, or last time I should say, what did you get? You got someone who are actually trying to fix this state. Someone who's crossing this state, asking you what you care about, giving you answers for what you care about, and still talking. If more people had voted, I want you to imagine for a second, what if I'd actually come in second? Think about what would have happened. What if I was polling so high that Democrats were scared of me? They were not. They weren't. They ignored me completely. Only people who beat me up last time were Republicans because they were scared that I would come in second. And if I came in second last time, Republican Party's done in this state. They knew that. That's why they didn't want me to come in second. So they fought. They spent literally $1 million trying to stop me. Heavily focused in Western New York because that was our strongest area, was here in Western New York. And I think it was one of the counties out here. Was it Steuben County, I think? We got 9% of the vote. Not much. I think it was Steuben. I'm not sure, but it was this area. We got lots of percentage of the vote out here in Western New York. We did. In any case, I'm sorry. Do you know which one it was?
No, I don't remember. Well, yes, I knew at one time, but I don't.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Skylar and Steuben were the top.
Thank you. Skylar and Steuben. Those are the top two. Yes, thank you. Those are the top two. Thank you. Of course, Andrew would know. You're the man. Thank you, my friend. Yes, of course he would know. Yes. So why do I bring this up? Because imagine if I'd come in second. If I'd come in second, my face would have been on every single media outlet in the country. If that would have happened, I would have talked about my plans to fix this state, and everybody would have heard it. That's what you would have invested in. That would not have been a wasted vote. Because now people have to say, you know what? Why are we still dropping X billions of dollars on an education system that ranks maybe 37th in the country? Why are we still paying horrible school and property taxes, yet my county never has a surplus, so we can never fix the roads? Yes, that's happening all the time. Why in the world are we? Why in the world do we have less people than Florida, yet more than double their budget, and they have no state income tax? Why is that happening? How bloated are we? Why are we the only state in the nation with an insurance board that punishes small businesses? Yeah, you small businesses know this. The insurance board, we're the only state in the nation with one. Every other state uses the federal guidelines. We don't. We have a separate one, which has to collect money, another money grab, and punishes small businesses because of it. Why is it happening? Anyone else talk about that? Only me. Why is our family court system so broken? It's embarrassing, destroying families across this entire nation, but heavily in New York State. Who spoke about that? Only I did. Why in the world are we crushing the vaping industry? It's an industry that actually people are making money on. It's a small business. Why do we care? Why do we crush small businesses who are vapors but allow tobacco companies to keep putting up whatever they want and just raise tobacco taxes. Why are we doing that? Who spoke about that? Only me. Only me. Who had an actual plan and answer for the Second Amendment to end the SAFE Act and to promote self-defense in cities? Only me. Thank you all. You can clap for that if you want. Please go ahead. It's fine. Yes. 100%. Only me. Nobody else did. The Republican, remember the Republican? The Republican, yeah, thank you. The Republican lieutenant governor candidate, Republican, her words, SAFE Act doesn't go far enough.
Yeah.
Remember that? Now, I'm not making that up. You can, that was her words. This was the Republican lieutenant governor they hoisted upon Republicans in this state. If you're a Republican, remember, did you get a primary last time? No, you didn't. They told you who you're going to vote for. And your Republican said, yes, sir, can I have another? And you voted for him and for her. And you pretended like you were supporting the Second Amendment. You were fooling yourself. You got played. You got played. Stop playing yourself. Just stop. They can do it again, by the way. They don't want to have a primary time either. They're going to hoist another person on you. If you're a Republican, if you're watching Republican, if you're here Republican, they're going to hoist another person on top of you. No primary. Vote for who we say. Shut up and vote. Shut up and vote. Will you support our small businesses? I don't know what that is. All I know is big business. They don't know. They have no idea. I'm asking you to think of a different way. A vote for me is an actual vote that matters. It's a vote that matters for several reasons. One, if I actually win this thing, let's say I win this thing, be amazing. I hope I do. You know I'm going to run to win. You guys have seen me hustle. You know I hustle. You've watched me more than once. You know I will literally not work and I'll be doing this 24/7. That's what I do. So I'll hustle for you. That's for sure. But let's say I win. It will change this nation overnight. And I'm not playing. That's not hyperbole. That's not some guy who's too full of himself. I mean, I am full of myself. But that's not some guy who's too full of myself. That's not, yes, not that. Yes. But it's real. If I win this thing, here's what I'll tell you will happen automatically. Immediately, at least 2 or 3 state senators, New state senators, will flip and become libertarian. Immediately. Why? Why would they? Say again? Correct. Because they will realize that if they do that, they will be the swing vote. They will go from some Joe Schmo, liberty-leaning Democrat Republican. Most of them are Republican. There are a couple Democrats who would switch, but most of them will be Republican. That they'll switch over. They'll go from being some Joe Schmo who has to follow orders to running things. Libertarian Party will be the swing vote in the Senate, in our state Senate, overnight. I will happily embrace them. How do I know that? Because they've already called me and asked me. I will happily embrace them. So now all of a sudden, we have the governorship and the state Senate. We will not have the assembly. The assembly will be tougher. We're tougher, no question. But can we move that? We can. How? I've said it more than once, and I'll say it again. I'm going to sell one of the governor's helicopters. I'm serious. There's more than one. We're going to sell one of them. And we're going to take that money and we're going to build it a bus we can run the government out of. And I'm going to drive around the state and run the government out of that bus for at least the first year or two. Why? Because if I can't get you on my side, I can't move the assembly. The only way I move the assembly is if I move you. It's the only way. Otherwise, I can't. That's how we move the assembly. Changes overnight. But I'm not even done. That's just New York State. Imagine the country goes, what? New York State's not red anymore? I mean, not blue anymore? It's gold? What? Like the world hasn't just changed. All the people who are thinking that they want to be libertarian but can't or don't want to will become. Overnight. Imagine if 2 or 3 actual U.S. senators became libertarian overnight. We'd run the actual Senate. Things would get done. It wouldn't just be follow orders, which is what it is now. Now it's follow orders. What does my leader say? I do that. Does my constituents count? No. Of course not. People stop becoming libertarians. But something else. There'll be other third parties too. Why do you care? Gerrymandering goes away. Have you thought about that one? Gerrymandering goes away. Most of you have no say in who your elected officials are. You know that, right? You have no say. The parties pick the voters by gerrymandering district. Then they hoist people upon you, knowing that if I'm in a red district, the red guy wins. Blue district, blue guy wins. That's how that works. They force those people upon you. You act like you care and get on your blue or red team, and the guy or gal who they knew gets in power. Right now, the parties pick the voters. Not even the voters who pick the parties of the members. The parties pick the voters. You don't have a choice. What happens when there's 3 parties? Ooh, that doesn't work anymore, does it? Now it doesn't work anymore. They might have to actually have a plan. That'll suck. They might have to actually care about you. That'll suck. They might have to talk to you. Imagine that. They have to come down and talk to you. The peasants. They don't want to talk to the peasants. They might have to. It will change that too. But not just here. Across the nation, it will do that. Across the nation. Everything will change for the better if I actually win this damn thing. Let's say I don't. Small chance I don't. Say I don't. But I come in second. Still impact across the state. Still impact across the state. How do I know this? If you remember what happened, 2018 I ran. I lost, but I got ballot access for New York State, for the Libertarian Party, and then I crossed it again, supporting all those candidates. Some may not know this. We had 103 victories across this state in 2019, Libertarians, 103. We went from 0 to 103, and I lost, and I got beat badly, and we had 103 victories. And the state said, what? No, we thought we got rid of this Larry Sharpe guy. And the guy won't stop. We got to get rid of this guy. So they then decided through a budget initiative, a budget, not even through a law, a budget to destroy the Libertarian Party. And they did. They said, well, we can't have that. Destroy the Libertarian Party, the stroke of the pen, and the budget. And they destroyed us. Now we have 8 from 103. What happens when I break a hole so big in this system they can't close it? You think they're concerned about it? Democrats aren't. They think they're going to win no matter what. They haven't even reached out to me. Republicans, oh yeah. They call me every week. Some congressman calls me, some state assemblyman calls me, some U.S. congressman gives me a buzz, somebody who's running, some former governor gives me a call every week. Larry, you sure you want to do this? Larry, do you want to run? And then the other side, Larry, please run, save our party in New York State. I get that too. Because here's the reality. If you don't want change in New York State, keep doing the same thing. You're going to get it again. If you want change, the only way of doing it is a coalition against establishment Democrats. That's the only way. There are only 2 outcomes for 2022 when it comes to the governor's election. Only 2 outcomes. 1, the Democrat wins. 2, an outsider wins. I hope I'm that outsider. That's it. There's no other alternative. They're going to tell you, no, this guy can win. Absolute fabrication, never going to happen. Please give me any evidence that's true. Not going to happen at all. An outsider or a Democrat wins. The odds are what's going to happen is Democrats are going to have 4 people running. Bill de Blasio, because he's insane. But he will. Jumaane Williams, who most of you don't know who he is. Does anybody happen to know who Jumaane Williams is? So a couple of you do. But he's running. It's a smart move for him, by the way. Jumaane Williams is basically, he's what's called the public advocate of New York City. He's basically that number 2. It's like a vice mayor, if that makes any sense, right? That's who he is. Wonderful run for him. He'll never win, he knows it, but he'll raise some money. He'll raise his profile for something else in the future. Maybe run for mayor in the future, something. Good job for Jumaane. John, if you're watching, well done. Smart move. He's not going to win, but it's good for him. That's the right move. De Blasio is delusional, and he thinks he's going to save the world. Jumaane Williams is being smart, so well done. Other people who might run, who probably will run. Kathy Hochul, our current queen, and Tish James, Kingslayer. So that's who she is, right? She's Kingslayer. So Kingslayer is running, and Her Majesty is running. One of them will probably win. I think Kingslayer wins. That's my opinion. I think she wins. I don't have evidence to prove that. That's just my gut feeling. Kingslayer wins because the queen's boring. So I think Kingslayer wins because she's not boring, and she has the working family behind her. So I think she's going to win. But maybe the queen wins. Who knows? Whatever the case may be, you're going to have an establishment Democrat running against a Republican and or me. That's it. That's it. Isn't that depressing? Yeah. Let's change that. Let's change that. We can make changes. We can do things differently. We can go for a real third party with someone who you know. I've been here forever. You know me. I'm saying thank you guys for coming. I really appreciate it. Thank you. So I also want to take now, if I could, any questions or comments that anyone has. I know I yapped a bit, but I also want to take some specific questions, knowing that I will answer your question and I'll give you a solution for any problem you might have. Is there any question or comment that anybody might have? Please.
This past week, had something going on with
School system, yep.
my son is autistic.
Mm-hmm.
And
Is he high functioning?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Mm-hmm. My niece is also autistic. I understand the spectrum is very varied.
Yes.
Mhm.
So I take him to a specialist out in Ohio.
Mhm.
I was told that it's not something like that.
Sure.
I have a written medical exemption.
Yep.
Because of adverse reactions and all sorts of stuff
Sure.
from his doctor. New York State will not accept an out-of-state.
100%.
doctor.
Yep.
I don't know what I can do.
Sadly, I'm going to tell you something crazy. I'm also homeschooling now. I have an 11-year-old daughter and a 17-year-old daughter. Meaning my 17-year-old daughter out of high school fast. She's graduating in January. I've accelerated her graduation because I don't want her in the school system. So she'll be out early in January. She's graduating in January. My youngest one's 11. We pulled her out for similar reasons. Ideas that the system doesn't work. And I'll give you two separate issues. They're related. Yours is vaccine, mine is mask, but they're related. The system that was happening in New York City was my daughter, who was 11, would have to come onto the school property on the block where the school is, right? And there were teachers who were outside literally watching and looking. When she steps on the sidewalk, her mask has to be on. They were yelling and screaming to keep the kids with the mask on once they, so you didn't, not even a mask inside, on the property. Outdoors,
Yeah.
on the property. You put your foot on, got the mask on. So you go into the school, 3-foot distance from all her friends, in the hallways, no talking. You can't talk to your friend. Then they canceled recess because you might be outside talking without your mask on. Can't have that, so no recess. Then inside the classroom, 3 feet apart, because COVID, kid COVID only goes 3 feet. Adult COVID goes 6. COVID is very smart, so it knows the difference, so it jumps differently. That's how that works. Science, okay? God. All right, anyway. So 3 feet inside.
While you're reading.
Exactly, yes. Yes. And when you're sitting down also, COVID hangs around here. So when you sit, take your mask off, you're fine. Because COVID only goes over here. Anyway, besides the point. So she can't talk to her friends then. And then at lunchtime, half of the kids eat in assigned seating, so they can't sit with their friends. And the other half sitting against the wall while half eat, then they swap. And I literally said, prisoners in this state have more freedom. Not joking. Like I have visited prisons and jails across the state. I'm not joking when I say that. Prisoners literally have more freedom than my daughter. I said, I'm out. Pull out. No one would hear anything. No one cared. No one cared. No one cared. So that's my story. Vaccine stories. Kids are being punished, but so are adults. I know adults in this state, it's across the state, who've lost their job or losing their job. And I said, wait a minute, you don't work for the government, do you? No, I don't. Well, why are you losing your job for the vaccine mandate? I don't get it. You don't work for the government. Yeah, but my company has a government contract. So if the company has a government contract, all the workers have to get vaccinated, even though they don't work on that government contract. Doesn't matter. So they're like, well, I haven't been vaccinated for a year and a half. Oh, yeah, but now you're gone. Worse. I said, well, you don't deal with clients, do you? I work from home. Yeah, I work from home. I don't even meet clients. I don't go in the office. So you don't work for the government and you work from home. Yeah, losing your job. It doesn't have to make any sense. It doesn't. Your son doesn't make any sense. My daughter doesn't make any sense. Someone like that doesn't make any sense. Of course not. Why I hate mandates more than anything. I hate them for many reasons. Let me give you the biggest reason why I hate them. Mandates encourage 2 types of terrible thinking. The first one is blind servitude. Blind servitude. Yes, master, I will do as you command. It doesn't matter if it makes any sense. Where is the point where an administrator goes, this is really dumb, I'm not doing it? They can't. And I'll tell you why in a second. That first one's blind servitude. The second one, blind rebellion. Both are wrong. I shouldn't be saying no to a mask or a vaccine because government told me so. That's a terrible reason to say no to a vaccine or a mask. You say no to a vaccine or mask because you believe it's not right for you and your health, not because someone told you so. You should accept it, not because someone told you so, because you believe it's right for your health in your family and your friends and those around you. It encourages us to not think, and we're not thinking. Mandates hurt, not now, not only now, but for the future. Because now the same thing happens. We simply pick a team, My team said do X, therefore I will do X. My team said do Y, therefore I will do Y. Is it right for you? I don't know. That's a problem. Because now people like you and I who think for ourselves, we're the weird ones. We're the oddballs. That's a problem. I agree with you completely. As governor, there will be no mandates. None. Why would I do that? Why would I punish people for thinking for themselves? If you remember, some of you may pay attention. I actually put together a COVID plan in March of 2020. And I put it on my website. I put it on my website. So I put it on my FullSharpe YouTube page. It's called COVID Response March 2020. It was not perfect. I only knew what I knew then. But if we had done what I said then, we'd be better off now. Guaranteed. Did anybody happen to watch Bill Maher last Friday? Anybody happen to catch Bill Maher last Friday? Bill Maher, obvious guy, Democrat, supported mandates, supported the whole thing. He was talking to Fareed Zakaria, also open Democrat, supports all that stuff. Both of them together go, you know, we got to learn to live with this thing. So he said, I said that a year and a half ago. Where were you? Where were you? My entire plan was figuring out how to survive in this environment. Those of you know, I spent 7 years in the Marine Corps. I was in the Marine Corps in the 80s. There was still a Soviet Union when I was in the Marine Corps, right? That still existed when I was in the Marine Corps. And we were worried about, you know, chemical attack and biological attack. And they didn't teach us, okay, if the Russians do a chemical attack, run. They didn't say that. If there's a chemical attack, go home, sit in your house, watch Netflix till the chemical's gone, then come back out and fight Russians. That's not what they said. They said we have to find a way to survive in a contaminated battlefield because the war doesn't end because of this. Well, our lives shouldn't have ended because of this. We should have found a way to handle this, and we should have, and I talked about it again and again and again. We didn't do that, though. And now we have people who are blindly just saying yes. And the problem is, why aren't, now it's this question, why aren't schools going, no? They can. Thank you, he knows. Why aren't hospitals going, no? Why aren't businesses going, no? Exactly right. Because the money comes directly from Albany, and they're always strings attached. The federal government, Albany, they're strings attached. If they don't say yes, they don't get paid, they're shut down. This is why you see me always say, you want to stop that corruption? Stop all that money going to Albany. All that money going to Albany gives them more power over all of us. Think about that. When it comes to anyone being punished by the government, who can't be punished by the government? The wealthy. They're the ones who get away with everything. Why? Because their money's coming from someone else. They don't care. They'll keep it. They're fine. It's us who gets punished. So what's happening with your son is silly. It should not happen. Happened to my daughter. Shouldn't happen. People getting laid off and fired. Shouldn't happen. And I go down the worst piece of this whole thing with the layoffs. You have people now in this state who busted their rump for a year and a half during COVID. When half of us were sitting at home watching reruns of Game of Thrones and getting checks from the federal government, half of us were doing that. But the other half were busting their rump working and getting no extra special benefits. In fact, working doubly as hard. Now it's a year and a half later. And we go, oh, you were busting your rump for a year and a half? Yeah, you have to get the vaccinated now. But I've been at the front line for a year and a half, not vaccinated. In fact, I already had COVID. I'm not even scared anymore. I know what this is all about. Yeah, but you got to go. You're fired. But when you needed me, I was here. Yeah, you were, and now bye. Well, will I get benefits now? Oh, no, you're fired. You get no benefits. Bye. You get no benefits. So wait, so the people who were sitting home watching Game of Thrones, they got like double the money while I was busting my ass for nothing. And so now I get fired. I don't get any benefits? That's correct. Mm-hmm. That's accurate. I'm not making that up. That's accurate. You would think that as a government, we'd be ashamed of that. We're righteous. We are righteous. You've seen them. How dare those evil people do that? But those are the same people that in the first months of this COVID debacle didn't know if COVID was the plague or not. They didn't know if it was Ebola. They didn't know if it was going to kill them. They didn't know, and they ran into it anyway. Now we know what it is, but then we didn't. Those people on the front line, those healthcare workers, those EMTs, you think they knew if it was going to kill them, if it was Ebola? That might have been the plague. They didn't know. Did they run away? No. They kept going. So that bravery, we reward that bravery with, bye. Do as we say or you're gone. Your bravery is irrelevant. That's what we reward them with. So I didn't mean to go too far on this, but your point is just so valid. I love everything you said, and I wanted to go even further on where I stand. I would have never done that. Of course not. Why would I do that? It seems crazy. How do we fix it? By fixing the education system. We fix the entire system, right? So I hope I answered your question at least. Right? Any other question or comment? Awesome. Let me end it. Let me end this right now. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I'm just gonna end this. Thank you. See you later. All right. Now I will take other questions and comments. I just wanted to end the live, so thank you. All right. So please go ahead. Yes.
So she mentioned her son or daughter with autism.
Yeah.
Son with autism. So when kids are diagnosed with autism, the standard of care in the U.S. is to hook them up with a therapist who can help them